Tomorrow marks the start of spring practice, and we're extremely excited about the group of young men that we have, coming out and the work that's gone in our winter conditioning and off-season program. I think Coach Storms has done a great job with our football team. We have a good number of returning starters that are coming back, but also a tremendous amount of quality youth and guys that maybe redshirted last year or were a little bit further down in the depth chart that I think have a great opportunity to contribute in this team moving forward. So we're excited to hit the field. We've got some new faces. We've had some new faces on our coaching staff, some new faces within our football team, and everybody's excited about establishing the identity of what the 2018 Memphis Tiger football team is going to look like. It has been a great spring so far with everything that they've done leading up to this point. But now it's time to get on the field and start to put it into action.
It's March, Mike. It's supposed to be all about basketball. How much excitement is there to be able to talk football, to be able to actually go on the field and work football in this springtime?
Well, spring football is I think if you polled coaches, it's one of the favorite times of the year for any coach because you're able to focus on the fundamentals, the development, the things that you're not game planning for a showcased opportunity each and every week, but you're really just trying to see that daily improvement and getting to understand your football team. Try to put them in adverse situations. You try to see how they respond, and then make sure you're formulating who you are and what you do according to them. And so it's exciting. Everybody in Memphis is excited. I think coming off the past two seasons that we've been able to have with this coaching staff, and then over the last 4 years, Memphis Tiger football has put a product on the field that makes this community proud, and we've got a great obligation to continue to progress and continue to do that.
This is the shortest off season ever, I think, in the history of this program, and that you played so late and you played a couple of extra games there. How does that parlay into getting the guys rested and then back into it for the grind it's going to be?
Yeah, that's one of the reasons we elected to start a little bit later. With our spring break being early, we decided to push back so we could get another week of training in. When you see our football team tomorrow, we are a bigger football team. Coach Storms, like I said, has done a great job with the physical development. I think overall we took the returning starters over the last 2 years and had an average in just about every lift that they did, and we're over 20 pounds. I know our football team is 20 pounds stronger in the bench press this year than they were last year for returning starters, 40 pounds from our first year. And so you see that progression and growth from the physical aspect of it, and then being able to put that out there on the field is something that's exciting, and that's kind of why we scheduled the timing of spring practice so that we could get out there and make sure we maximize the training leading up to it.
For the second time in 3 years, you bring in a high-profile transfer quarterback that you hope continues the run of quarterback play here. I know there's going to be a lot of look-see, a lot of eyes on him this spring. What's your expectation, and how has he handled things as he goes into a competition? Because you've said that quarterback job is up for grabs.
Oh, no question. And I think you're talking about Brady transferring in. He's been a phenomenal young man throughout the transition. And the biggest thing is anytime you bring a new member, whether it's a quarterback or any position into the football team, it's about getting acclimated to who's here and really being able to establish yourself as a person and the player. And then I think the rest will take care of itself out there on the field. But we're going to have great competition. I'm excited about all the quarterbacks that we have. I think we have a tremendously talented group. Yes, they are inexperienced, but they understand what's ahead of them. And when you look at the tradition that we've had in the latest cycle of our quarterback play here in our program, it's pretty remarkable. And so there's big shoes to be filled. But every young man that we have just needs to go out there and be themselves and continue to improve. And I know they'll play at a high level.
Mike, there's also big shoes to fill at wide receiver, so is that kind of exciting as well to see who kind of fills that role that Anthony Miller had last year?
Most definitely. And I think when you look at our receiver position, I don't think anybody would argue that we have quality depth there at that position. A lot of guys that were able to gain experience that have played meaningful snaps. But who's going to be the go-to guy? Who's going to be the guy that consistently performs at that high level? Having Anthony Miller here the last 2 years in this offense has been a treat for the coaches and the team because we knew that he he was going to perform at an extremely high level week in and week out. We've got I know we have capable guys of being able to fill those fill that position and being able to provide their own unique skills and talents to what we do. But you've got to do it out on the field, and I think we've got some great young men to be able to choose from, and we need everybody in that group to help offset some of the production that one player had.
Is Tony Holmes' role changing at all, or is it much the same?
That's a great question. Tony's I think through the last couple of years, everybody sees the versatility as a player. What he does in a return game, as a running back, as a receiver. And for us, Tony, this spring, we're really going to focus a lot of what he's doing on the perimeter. Having Darrell and having Patrick back, we have a three-headed running back stable that's pretty impressive. But then we also have some young guys that Tim Taylor's that I think are going to be able to push for some time. So Tony's going to be able to. He's going to be able to line up in the slot a little bit more and be able to look at what we're doing with him, just so they can continue to develop fundamentally at that spot. But we're still going to hand the ball off to Tony. You're going to still see him in the backfield because he's just such a special talent.
Coach, now mentioned Anthony Miller. He started off as a walk-on. Austin Hall was a walk-on, and he was doing good things for him now. Do you have any walk-ons that are coming in the spring practice that we should maybe take notice of?
Yeah, I think he's a guy that's really kind of stood out in our offseason program. Marcavius Weaver, running back, is young man from Bartlett that's done an exceptional job. Last year, on our scout team, he was a guy that brought it every day. We've got some guys at a variety of different positions that I think are going to be able to work to contribute to what we're doing. Ryan Young there on the offensive line has really developed well these last few years, and so it's going to be exciting to see some of these guys. I don't want to just single out anybody because obviously they've got to go get it done on the field, but those are a couple guys that have done a really nice job throughout their process.
When will you hear about Jacksonville and if he'll be eligible and will he go through spring practice?
Yeah, Jackson and Sam Kraft are both going to we're both expecting to be back, and so they're in process right now with their eligibility, and but that's something that we are expecting. So you'll see them out there. Both of them are still coming off of injuries from this past season, and so you'll see them progress accordingly to each of their individual situations. But you'll definitely both see them. You'll see both of them out there, and we're excited about the opportunity to have both those guys back on our football team.
As you kick off spring practice, obviously there's a kind of a little bit of a black cloud on the university right now with the struggles of the basketball program and what's going on right now. Does that put more emphasis on you? Do you feel maybe maybe pressure's not the right word, but do you feel a little more pressure to give Tiger fans something to be excited about as they deal with the transition from Tuggy to somebody else?
I think Tiger fans are all excited about the Memphis about our Memphis Tiger football team and what we've been able to do, and we're all about this community, and we're about going out there and performing to the best of our ability each and every day, understanding that we represent something that's much greater than ourselves. We represent an unbelievable university athletic program, tradition of former players that have come before us, and so we want to go out there and make everybody proud with our effort and our performance. And so we talk about the climb that we want to continue to progress with as a football team. And so every day we're striving to be better than we were yesterday. And if we can do that, then I think we'll be able to continue with a high level of success.
You talked about your different new faces on the coaching staff. We all know Coach Jones from Cordova, and it was one of those things that happened quick in December. But how has he taken off with this new responsibility, this new job and new responsibilities over these last couple of months?
It's been a true joy to watch Coach Jones, come and be a part of our staff. The excitement, the energy. He's a phenomenal coach. He's somebody that's taken advantage of the opportunity to build relationships. And since the day that I've been here, we've had an open door policy with the high school coaches, in the area. And every time our doors were open, Anthony Jones was sitting here with us and learning, sharing ideas, and it let us really get to know each other. And so when the opportunity presented itself, like you said, I moved quickly because I knew he was the right man for the job. I knew he was the right fit, and you could not be more pleased with the job that he's done in the short period of time, as a member of our staff.
Is there a position of concern for you as you go to spring? We have talent everywhere, but is there somewhere where you're like, man, we really got to get stuff done in these 3 or 4 weeks?
I mean, I think you're always concerned that you're going to see the potential of development that I believe that we can achieve. And so even at places where we have great depth, I mean, I want to see guys passionate about their growth individually and then collectively as a group. And so we're going to have some great competition. Obviously we talked about the quarterback spot. On the offensive line, we have to replace a starter that was an all-conference player last year. We talked about receiver. Defensively, Jannard Avery was one of the most impactful defensive players that we've had in our program's history. And so who's going to take up that production? Jonathan Cook, Sharif White, guys like that. It's about the overall growth of each position group, and who are we going to be able to establish that same depth of what it's going to take for us to be productive.
You talked about Coach Jones coming in. He had several newcomers on the staff. Talk about the importance of having continuity and how these guys, your new guys, are meshing with the players.
Well, I think all of them done a great job. Every one of the men that I was able to bring into our program, they are heart-led coaches, and they're all about relationships. They're all about the young men that they get to impact, and it's been a lot of fun as a staff to see the coaches all mesh together and start to form those relationships. But even more so, just watching them interact with the student athlete. And one of the biggest fears you have as a coach, especially in our situation, is that you get complacent. And I think you fight complacency every day. But when you have a little turnover, when you have change, it provides an opportunity for everybody to continue to push. You have 5 coaches that are bringing in a different level of excitement because this is new. They're coming here and looking to bring and put their mark on this program and what we're able to accomplish. And at the same time, the leaders among our staff, we're having to go and reteach and to make sure that we're focusing on those tiny details of why we do what we do, and then provide a new perspective of how we execute that. And so I think it's been great. We've got a lot of energy, and these guys have really done a nice job getting started.
Have you heard anything? You have Pro Day here coming up in about 2 weeks. Anthony, Jannard, Riley, they were all at the Combine. Since then, what have you heard, whether it's from your players or from NFL types? Your expectation as we head closer to April's draft on what those 3 and maybe some other players may be able to optimize on Pro Day? Yeah,
we're excited about Pro Day. Having those guys here. I mean, we're got an unbelievable response from the number of NFL teams that are going to be present to see those guys. We talk a lot about who we represent. And, you mentioned the 3 guys that went to the Combine there in Indianapolis. And, every report that I've received back from NFL personnel has been they represented our program in a first-class fashion. I think you saw, even though, Anthony wasn't able to go out to any of the field drills, he was still one of the strongest receivers there. He showed himself well. He communicated well. Riley had an outstanding performance in how he threw the ball. But, the things of his understanding of football conceptually, was very impressive to the scouts. And then, obviously his performance spoke for itself. And then, Jannard, who is one of, he goes out there and he runs under a 4.6 40 for a guy that's, I think was at 250 pounds, which an impressive, versatile defender that was able to showcase his skills. And now that's showing how that could tie to the next level. So we're excited for all those guys and some of the guys that we have, that will also be able to go through Pro Day and hopefully present themselves a new opportunity.
I know it's not rocket science, I'm sorry, Greg, but what do you do on Pro Day to help those guys in the eyes of the scouts? I know just about everybody does the same thing, but in your expectations, what are you hoping to be able to showcase them out here for NFL scouts?
The biggest thing is, and this is what we tell guys when we get here, and 2, when we recruit them here, is that, what we do every single day within our program helps prepare them for that day. They don't need to go out there and do anything different than what they've done to get themselves to that point. And, when scouts come through, they're able to turn on film, press play, and see so much of the talents and the skills that these guys have, because that's what this program is built on, showcasing our players, putting them in a position to be successful. And then when they go out there and they run their 40s, when they have their bench press, that's because they trained, and they've trained at a very high level. I think it's a compliment to the work that they've put in, but we don't have to go out there and put them in any situation that's different than what they've done while they've been here. And so I think that's why you see our guys have performed so well at the combine. combine, and I expect them to have a great pro day as well.
Sometimes when you read about Memphis quarterbacks, just casual writers will say they knock them because they're quote-unquote system. Is that a misconception about what quarterbacks have to do in your system? And I take it you talk to NFL players, they know, they understand. What's the answer to that one?
Yeah, I think that's when people see you in a shotgun and being able to throw the ball around for the yards that we have. I mean, you sometimes get caught up on a system quarterback. When you look at our guys, we throw the ball vertically down the field. We throw the ball sideline to sideline. A lot of different progression reads. I mean, I truly believe that we are an NFL-style offense that just goes with a spread presentation. And so it's funny when people sit down and talk to Riley. They're so impressed with his football IQ and the knowledge and what he's been asked to do with protections and things like that. Because that's what the game's all about, and that's what we want to be known for, is something that is unique. And we enjoy playing fast. We enjoy giving our athletes an opportunity to play more plays, get the ball in their hands, and showcase their skills.
Doesn't mean it's one read.
But it is definitely not that. And so you have to, knowledge is our greatest talent, and that's something that we take a great deal of pride at, with all of our players.
Coach, final thing for me, when you get in Power 5, non-Power 5, the fact you guys won 10 games, played for the championship in the league, and the fact that the Americans did well in the bowl game, in all the bowl games, how is it when you go out and recruit now to try to get guys to come to this program?
I mean, it's incredible. The reception that we have when we walk into high schools, the young men that we've been able to attract to this campus, there's a wonderful buzz about the University of Memphis and our football program because you turn on the TV last year, and I think we played 10 games on television, many of them nationally broadcast games, and then we performed well. They see an exciting brand of football, offense, defense, special teams, and kids can see themselves being used in that fashion. So people want to be here, and we've had last year's signing class was a small class. Next year's signing class is going to be even smaller because we've played so many young players in our first couple of years here. So I think we have 9, maybe 10 seniors on our entire football team, and so we're excited about where we are, but really excited about what the future holds.
Minus the quarterback spot, is there an area you're most interested this spring in seeing what you got?
Yeah, our punter. That's something that nobody talks about. But, you graduate Spencer Smith and Nick Jacobs, and we've got a couple of young men that I think have tremendous talent. But to try to put those guys in positions of adversity and stress. And, the spring game is going to be a big showcase for them, because that's something that people don't talk about. But we understand the importance of it. And then you can see, like we talked a little bit about, the defensive front. Where's that depth going to come from? Who's going to really establish themselves as a primary production maker at that spot. You look at John Tate and O'Brien Goodson. Both those guys played as freshmen last year. You see the development that they've had in the last 6, or I guess it would be 4 months now. It's been incredible, and the confidence they have. So I'm looking forward to seeing those guys on the field, and look at the secondary. Last year that was the biggest question mark that we had on our football team. Well, then you have guys like T.J. Carter, Tito Wyndham, Leandre Thomas, Josh Perry, that came in and played at a really high level for the amount of experience they had. The confidence that they have coming into this spring is something to be exciting to see. Okay. All right, guys, thank you.